The second section is about the volume, let's say. So here you can see the volume has peaked. So this is from the similar clip. You can just select them and let's say about minus like 10 or 20, but you don't know if that works. So what you can do here is actually you can play it, and then you can press Ctrl and minus. It will be -1, -2, -3, -4, and then you play it. So you can see maybe, okay, let's say when it's -4, the volume is acceptable. Although it's not perfect, which we will deal with later, but right now it's kind of okay because you need to watch and edit. So when you find, okay, -4 is okay, then you can select all of them and then just change them to -4, which is easier. And there's one very important thing I need to mention is, let me just move the playhead here, and let me just press the space and hit very clear. Can you hear it? So see, if I play it by this, it's kind of complicated. So what you can do is here you can press Command and A. You can see the playhead here. This means it will loop. So how to loop it? If you press the space button, it will loop the whole clip. Let me move the playhead here, right? And then you press the slash button here, which is also question mark. You need to select here. No further. So it will only play this particular section, and I'm not sure if you can hear the kind of like a static sound, which happens because there is kind of a peak and you just cut at the peak. Then when you connect the two clip, or even it's just the beginning or end, you will hear the like a static sound. So if this is not clear, let me play another video for you. This is one of my favorite Spanish teacher called Español con Juan. 3 seconds later, the screen will be changed and also you can hear the static sound. Did you hear the static? Actually, it's quite easy to fix. Let's just go back to here and then let me just do a fade out. And then hear it. You cannot hear the sound anymore. There might be a downside because when you do the fade out, remember the music, it will start to fade out gradually. So what you can do is you just need to move the arrow left or left, in this case left, a little bit, then you cannot hear it. And let's say if you have a lot of dialogue, what you can do is you don't have to adjust it one by one. Let me just do few random cut, and I will just find some peak position so I can simulate the noise. Not sure if you can hear it, but let me just select them and press Alt and T, and then play them again. See, there's no static thing. And if you feel the crossfade has lasted too long, what you can do here is Command and Comma. Here in editing, you have the audio fade. You can change it to shorter, but for me, the default is kind of okay. And besides the fading, there are also downside. Let's say if you have separated the audio, let me just separate them, and then you can, I think you can still do the Alt and T because it's just to do the crossfade. Let me just go back. But let's say if you just like you have this one and this one is a little bit longer. In this case, when you press Alt and T, it doesn't work. Anyway, if you find sometimes you cannot do the crossfade, it's because the clip isn't long enough. Let me just show you. In order to do the crossfade, it's actually extended audio so it can do the crossfade. So if you don't have potential enough clip, it won't work. In that case, what you need to do is drag manually. Or if you want to do some J-cut, what you can do is before you detach the audio, you can do the Alt and T, do the crossfade first, then you can detach them. And in this case, because it's already done the crossfade for you, so you can adjust it and the effect will still remain. And now let's talk about the third part. I will bring up a video I'm editing and talk about that. It's kind of air cut and J cut and the range selection. So here you can see I have background music and I have person talking. So what you can do here is you can do the complicated keyframing, or maybe you can just cut the clip and then do the auto fade. But actually what you can do is you can select a certain area, use R and then drag it to select a section, and then you can move up and down to adjust. And if the result is not perfect, here you can still adjust the keyframing to move it a little bit, to select the perfect range. And about the J-cut and air-cut, it's easy to understand. Like this one, I am still talking, right? But you can also see the background music has been introduced already here. So before the scene is end, the sound from next scene or next part has been introduced. This is called J, so otherwise there will also be the air cut. The reason I add music here is because in the next scene it's kind of a little bit boring, but I wanted to insert it like a transition, so I have introduced music here, and also here I have a person talking. If I just mute the music, because the talking is only a few seconds, and then next the music needed to be introduced again. That's why I use the range tool to make the certain part music lower. And by the way, the air cut and J cut are also used when you are talking, like this one here. The reason I put J cut is because here I have a cut and I want to introduce the next sentence before this scene is ended. This is quite a personal choice, but if you use it well, it will be quite outstanding.